It feels so good to be alive. That's right. We are alive. We're live. What's going on, Steve? Did you expect me to just do that right off the bat?
I did not. I was not ready when you said let's do this, and then you were like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh shit, we're in. We're going."
Wake up. It's time to go. It's time to roll. It's time to set your fantasy lineups. What's going on, everybody? My name is Chase Vernon from Fantasy Intervention. I'm joined by Coach Steve over there. You guys can go find him on Twitter at, what's your handle? At Coach Stephen P on Twitter and Coach's Fantasy as well. And of
Yes.
course, you can find me on Twitter at FF_intervention. We are here this morning to answer your starter sick questions. Who's going to be performing at a high end level? Who is going to win you that championship? And of course, we are sponsored by Trophy Smack, trophysmack.com. Go pick up a trophy or belt for your fantasy leagues. Get a free ring along with the purchase of a trophy or belt if you use the promo code CIRCLE. That's right, use promo code CIRCLE. You'll get a free ring. I actually have one right here from
Hey,
the Expo, right? We won this
nice
from the
ring.
Flag Football Championship. Of course, these things are legit. You can see the trophy behind me, this massive, beautiful piece. But yes, we are here to answer your questions. I do see Yvonne already has a question going. We got you covered. But first, before we do, we need to go over some quick injury type situations, right? Because we have Julio Jones out. This could really open up the doors for Russell Gage. So if you're thinking about benching Russell Gage this week, there are some opportunities there to be had with Russell Gage. Some other assets that need to be discussed. Alvin Kamara, he's out, I believe. This could
Yep.
be a Mark Ingram game. Don't really love it, but if you have any start sit questions when it comes to those guys, we would love to hear those. Meanwhile, we have Kadarius Toney playing. Spoiler: I love Kadarius Toney, but I don't really love him this week up until we start seeing increased snap share and he gets out of that doghouse. Is there anybody else that you want to bring up for the injury report while we're here?
I mean, J.K. Dobbins is officially out now.
Ooh, that was a blow. Hate that.
DeAndre Swift, I heard, was supposed to be on some kind of snap count. I don't know how big of a snap count that is, just so people know, but he is supposedly on a snap count.
Uh,
I
that's
don't know
rough,
what
man.
I don't know what that means anymore nowadays. I feel like, but that's what they're saying.
Well, they also have, I believe, Frank Ragnow, the center, is out, and their right guard or the left guard, Jonah Jackson, was questionable. Let me see if
He's
he
inactive.
comes up. He is inactive.
Yep.
All right, so I mean, those are two big blows as well, along with DeAndre Swift. So, I mean, man, this is not looking good for the Lions this early on in the season. I thought that this was going to be a smash game. Might be fading a little more than I thought I would be originally. Let me adjust this camera so I can make sure that I get these questions in.
We
Gabe
also,
Davis on
yeah, I was
Monday
gonna say
night.
that.
Oh, look, Nathaniel just said it in the chat. Gabe Davis on Monday night is definitely questionable. I have an option in one of my leagues where I have to play Gabe Davis or T. Higgins. And if T. Higgins plays this week, I am 100% starting him over Gabe Davis. But I mean, to bench Gabe Davis for, I don't know, even like a Russell Gage, I probably would not do, even with the opportunity that Russell Gage could see. I'd much rather go and pick up a Jamison Crowder on a Monday night and be forced to play him and take the shot on Gabriel Davis to play this week.
Makes sense.
But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and let's hop into some of these starter sit questions. Anybody else? Oh, Michael Pittman. It could be an Ashton Doolin week. It could be a Paris Campbell week. So that's some big news over there as well. I love Paris Campbell for this matchup. This could absolutely be a smash up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who do struggle up against the deep ball. Carson Wentz led the league last week in deep ball completions with 8. That's passes of 20 yards downfield or more. And Washington, sure, they had a great game up against Jacksonville, but any team could have a great game up against Jacksonville, which is why I love Paris Campbell so much. He could play that Jahan Dotson role downfield, get a couple touchdowns for you. So, yeah, I am actually going to be starting Paris Campbell in a couple different flex spots that I'm desperate in this week, especially for redraft leagues.
Oh yeah.
Who else do we need to discuss? Of course, Chris Godwin's out. We already brought up the fact that Russell Gage could be a thing, although he is dealing with the injury himself. So, like I said, I would love to see those Russell Gage questions for starters sit come in if you guys have any of those. Let's see. Anybody else that we need to discuss? We have George Kittle out again. This honestly doesn't move the needle for me at all for any one of these players. I mean, maybe makes Brandon Ayuk a little bit more attractive, but it doesn't really move the needle for me for any of these players. Van
Laviska Shenault's
Jefferson's
out
out,
again.
but Oh my God, Laviska Chenault.
He doesn't get a jersey in week
Laviska
2 either.
We do have Andy Isabella and Rondell Moore out, so it could be Greg Dortch week 2 up against the Raiders. This could be, I think this is the highest scoring game on the slate. It's sitting at like, 52.5 over under, maybe 51 over under, but it's the highest scoring game on the Sunday slate. So, yeah, I think Greg Dortch is still a play. If you have any sit questions with Greg Dortch, bring them in the chat.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Brevin Jordan's been dealing with an injury all week, so it could be OJ Howard's season, seeing a way higher snap count than what we saw last week, and he still performed with the 2 receptions that he had last week. So we could see a massive uptick in that. Anybody else? Not really seen anybody. Of course, we need to see those sit questions for Dallas Cowboys players this week with Cooper Rush starting. So please bring those into the chat. Alan Lazard is up in the air right now. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop into the start of sit questions that we already have. We're going to start with Ivani over there, Adam Thielen or Curtis Samuel, PPR. This one right here is interesting for me because Curtis Samuel came out and they used him like they said they were going to use him in 2021, but he was injured the whole time, right?
Right.
It wasn't able to get in the game. He comes in and they utilize him properly in the role that they wanted to utilize him in. We don't know if this is going to be consistent, if this was part of the game plan. Jacksonville likes to play off a little bit, but they like to play off with their cornerbacks and their safeties, but they also like to blitz the edges. So it creates a lot of opportunity for screen plays, for jet sweeps, for shovel passes, because the edges come around, it opens up the middle of the field. You can get downfield because the corners and safeties are playing deep. So Curtis Samuel was in the perfect storm. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions, they do like to bring pressure, but they bring a lot of pressure up the middle, and their corners play press coverage. They play a lot higher percentage of man coverage than the Jacksonville Jaguars do, which could create a little bit of a situation. Now, if Curtis Samuel can win one-on-one, which he has the talent to do so, we could see a massive game. But it's kind of sketch as to whether they will still attack that way. Meanwhile, we have Adam Thielen up against the Eagles, and oh my God, this game right here is just pure sex. Like, it is so hot. I can get hot and bothered just thinking about Adam Thielen and the points that the Minnesota is going to put up. And then the Eagles are going to put up as well. So for me, I'm leaning Adam Thielen. I can't get sex out of my head. I'm addicted. Let's go Adam Thielen.
Yeah, honestly, this was a tough one. I first saw it on there. I mean, I'm going to trust the Vikings offense in a probably a high-scoring Monday night game than don't know what I'm getting out of the Washington-Detroit game. That could be high-scoring, but it also could not be a very high-scoring game. And I don't know how you let Terry McLaurin, finished 4th on the target share. I mean, I feel like that has to adjust itself going into week 2, even with this matchup here. Just Curtis Samuel, he's good, and I want to see it one more time before I can really trust him in the lineup. I did like that he saw 4 rushes. That was pretty cool. But I want to see one more week before I really trust, Curtis Samuel. Adam Thielen just didn't have a great game. It wasn't that kind of game for them to really do that. So this week should be a much more tighter scoring game than what the Vikings showed us last week. So I'm going to go Adam Thielen too.
And we could see bracketed coverage on Justin Jefferson with Darius Slay being one of those guys in coverage. I know Darius Slay has times where he's gotten beat in the past, but when you have bracketed coverages with a talented player like that, we could see them opt to go with Adam Thielen or Irv Smith Jr. on certain plays. Now, do I think Justin Jefferson still has a great game? Absolutely. But do I think that Thielen could actually get some touches in this, get a touchdown, potentially probably 4 or 5 receptions? I'm taking that route and saying Adam Thielen. All right, fantasy football discussion. Bring in those questions for us. Of course, starter sit questions all freaking day. I'm going to try to share this in the chat. If you want to go ahead and read up this next question that I have, I'm going to go ahead and share this in the chat.
Yeah. Need 3 half-point PPR: DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Travis Etienne, Damian Harris, and Drake London. Oof. This is a little tough. Let's see. I'm going to go back to DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore coming into the season here still. He's going to, I think, he'll be fine in this game against the New York Giants. The Giants, they kind of held the Titans under control, but the Titans offense did not look good last week. Baker should be able to get DJ Moore more involved going into week 2 here. Drake London will probably be my second one. I know it's a tougher matchup here, but again, they don't really have anyone in the passing game to really succeed. And Kyle Pitts didn't get the connection right with Marcus Mariota, but Marcus Mariota and Drake London had a really nice connection in week 1. He's their wide receiver 1 on this team here. He's probably going to catch, 5 or 6 targets once again in this game here, in a game that they're probably going to be slightly behind in. I'm probably going to go Drake London here, and then.
Ooh, that's a hot take, man. That's a hot take.
Well, Damien Harris, I don't know if I want to trust him completely. It depends on what they do with this new snap count without Ty Montgomery now. Travis Etienne, Deontay Johnson, though. I'm probably going to go Deontay Johnson here still. I like Travis Etienne, but him seeing very minimal targets in week 1 kind of concerning how much of a split role this offense is going to be. So I know Deontay Johnson is going to be in line for at least the leading target share on this team, or at least second, maybe behind Pat Fryermuth again. But I think he should see pretty good target share in this offense against the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots defense kind of looked shaky against wide receivers last week. They played the Dolphins, of course. So I'm going to keep the wide receivers here with Moore, Johnson, and London.
Oh man, so Etienne last week, right? He ended up dropped a touchdown pass. Trevor Lawrence missed him wide open in the end zone, and it broke my heart because I touted Etienne all over the place. I said he was going to end up with like 2 touchdowns, like 6 receptions, maybe 7 receptions, 60 receiving yards, 60 rushing yards, and he got really close. He ended up having a fumble, so they pulled him from the game on a few snaps as a little bit of a punishment. He dropped a pass that should have been a touchdown. They missed him in the end zone. He could have had that game that I was talking about. It was in the realm of possibilities. He still saw 10 targets, by the way, and averaged 11.6 rushing yards per attempt. I mean, that was absolutely nuts. So he's in a huge position this week to absolutely dominate. I love Etienne. I am not fading him just because of what he did last week. The opportunity was still there. You got to go Etienne if you have him. Meanwhile, Deontay Johnson up against the Patriots, who seem to be reeling. I don't know what's going on over there with the Patriots. Maybe we're just seeing, them adjust because they typically do this in the first month of the season where okay, they're figuring out what they have, what they don't have, and then we see them go on a run. So maybe that's what's happening here. But I feel like the Steelers will end up having better field position than they'll probably have all season up against this New England offense, who is just in a bad situation, a bad spot. So I don't even like Deontay Johnson, but I'm going Deontay Johnson. And then for me, it's between DJ Moore, who has a horrible quarterback situation. We have Damien Harris, who we don't know what's going to happen in the backfield. And then we have London, who's going to face a Rams secondary who thrives in the area of the field that Drake London plays in. So I'm knocking Drake London right off the bat. I love Kyle Pitts this week. I'm fading Drake London. Meanwhile, for me, it's between DJ Moore and Damien Harris. Whew. I'm going to go DJ Moore. I'm going to go DJ. God, but Damien Harris has such a sexy matchup up against this Colts defense that just lost TJ Watt. All right, if you need some significant upside, if you need, let's just say you're projected to lose by 10 points, 15 points, maybe 20 points, I would go DJ Moore. But if you're projected to win, if you have a 5-point above and you feel strong about your projections, right? Like some of these projections are completely whack, but if you feel strong about your projections, you do feel like you can come out on top and you just need a solid 10 to 15 points, go Damien Harris. Because I think Damien Harris is a lock for at least probably 50 rushing yards and a touchdown, 80 rushing yards, a couple receptions. Like he's a lock to get you north of 10 points, but he's not a lock to get you more than like 12. So I play Etienne if you're liking your projections and you're guaranteed to win. So let's go ahead and go into Justin Garber's question. We have Montgomery, Henderson, or Carter for flex, and another team, Murray or Jackson. Let's go ahead and answer the first part: Montgomery, Henderson, or Carter. And Montgomery did not look good last week. Khalil Herbert looked like a boss. I know it's a weird situation. I know the rushing, was what they had to do, so the team expected it because it was just a complete swamp out there. Montgomery did not look good. I feel like I said this back in the offseason. I said there's a good chance that Khalil Herbert is going to be the RB1 by the tail end of the season with Montgomery's contract, with the youth and the skill set that Khalil Herbert has, because they now run the wide zone run scheme, which you need to be hyper athletic for. And we all know Dave Montgomery, although the guy can run, he's not hyper athletic, or not even close as athletic as Khalil Herbert. I feel like Herbert could easily take his spot by the end of the season, and it could start as early as this week where we see a 50-50 snap share. We're looking at like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon type snap share, but we have a rushing quarterback as well on a non-efficient team. I mean, like Montgomery's a train wreck right now. He's a train wreck. Meanwhile, Michael Carter's being called the heart of the offense, even though they have Breece Hall. I mean, dude, I like Carter this week, and I'm probably going to go Henderson over Montgomery because that's just nasty, especially up against the Packers, where the Packers are favored by 10 points in this one. I don't see Montgomery getting the workload in, so I'm going to go Henderson Carter. Meanwhile, Murray or Jackson for this matchup. Actually, you want to take the first question, and then I'll get on to that.
Well, what is it, Henderson or Carter? You picked both of them.
Oh crap! I thought I was on pick 2 for some reason. I'm going Carter.
Okay, Michael yeah.
Carter.
I'm on the same page with you, Chase. Like Montgomery is definitely an out. Henderson's interesting, but like I'm so concerned that like out of nowhere, Cam Akers is going to come back and just take the workload away. I don't think that's going to happen, but it scares me enough that somehow like that happens, where I think Carter is going to be used in this offense because Joe Flacco can't throw the ball or can't hold on to the ball long enough, so they have to dump it off consistently. I think if you want an upside play, go Henderson and hope for the best. But if you want that consistent production, Michael Carter is the way to go. You know, the amount of targets that the running back saw last week was tremendous. And this is the exact same thing happened when Joe Flacco played last year. That's why Michael Carter was so good at a point last year, because he was seeing all these targets. So Michael Carter is definitely this week's play.
All right. And then for the other one, it's Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to take the guy that I know is going to put up a ton of points this week with Kyler Murray. I love this matchup. I love this Raiders Cardinals matchup. I think it's absolutely going to smash this week. I'm stoked on it. I'm rolling with it. Let's go all day with Kyler Murray.
I mean, you said this is the highest projected game of the week here. Kyler Murray's he's gonna do well. Lamar Jackson, he'll be fine. At least on the
Sunday slate. I think that the Vikings and Eagles game might be higher, but I know on the Sunday day slate for DFS, because we do our DFS shows every Friday.
Right.
The DFS, I remember it being the highest scoring game on the slate for that.
So for Sunday.
But I love Kyler Murray this week. Yeah, for Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kyler Murray.
All right.
Smash.
Let's go ahead and hop on to Axel's question. What's up, Axel? Show me your pants. I can't today. I can't show you my pants today, Axel. I'm just kidding. I'm wearing pants today.
Nice.
I almost didn't. I was like, if Axel pops on the show, I'm gonna have to be wearing pants, or else, I'm gonna have to show off my boxers. So, pick 2: Scary Terry, DJ Moore, Renfro, or Mooney. I keep on going back to this. I can't stop repeating. We have the highest scoring game on the slate. However, there's a twist to this one, because the best slot corner in the league will be playing the slot up against Renfro this week, and it's going to be very tricky for that. So I'm not locked into Renfro, even with it being the highest scoring game on the slate. I think that Devontae Adams is going to smash faces, but I'm not sold on Hunter Renfro this week. I think if anybody steps up outside of Devontae Adams, this is a Darren Waller week. But Scary Terry is likely a lock for me. I think that we're going to see a lot of one-on-one coverage with Scary Terry on the outside up against the Lions, and what I expect to be a high-scoring game as well. I'm hitting the over on, I think it's 48.5. So I'm hitting the over on that. Meanwhile, the other one for me is likely to be, God, I guess I got to go Renfro. I can't do DJ Moore, man. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. So I'm going to go Renfro and Scary Terry. No, I got to go DJ Moore. I got to go with the talent. I'm going DJ Moore and Scary Terry. I'm tilting hard, man. Save me from this. Where are you at right now? Give me your thoughts.
Well, I'm definitely taking Scary Terry. I'm concerned, but I'm hoping that the targets kind of bounce back this week. That's my goal for Scary Terry this week. This is definitely a tough one here. Like, you're going either talent with Moore, you're going with the high scoring opportunity with Renfro, or you're going with the target share with Mooney. And
kind of funny. These are all week 1 disappointments. Excuse me.
Yeah, they really are. It's just like
all 4 of these guys are week 1 disappointments.
I'm gonna go Mooney. There was a reason I liked Mooney this offseason here. The target share were there. The downfield potential was there. It was a rain game. I'm gonna take the mulligan on Mooney for week 1, and hopefully a bounce back against the Packers this week, and hopefully a not crazy weather matchup. So I'm gonna do Mooney on this one. Couldn't break it for you there, Chase, but I'm gonna go Mooney.
Jair Alexander, man. I know he didn't cover Justin Jefferson much last week.
Justin Jefferson.
He didn't cover him, I don't think. I don't think that they
No?
saw much shadow coverage or any from Jair Alexander because they're moving so much motion around. So Jair Alexander had one place on the field, and they were moving Justin Jefferson away from Jair Alexander, regardless of where he lined up. So if they end up sticking Mooney, if they end up sticking Jair Alexander on Mooney, like that's scary. That's scary for Mooney. And I just can't get on it. The accuracy scares me. I understand Mooney and I love Mooney. I just don't love him for this week. There's probably 2 weeks a year where I don't love Mooney, and that's the two matchups he has to play up against the Packers.
Oh God, I respect it. We got another DJ Moore question coming up too.
Oh jeez. All right. Should we hop on to that one first? I see Mike's question. Let's go ahead and hit Mike's, and we'll hit the next one. I have a Christian Watson stash in all my big leagues. I have a gut feeling he explodes tonight. Kid's going to be a stud, in my opinion. What are the thoughts? So they designed, like 2 or 3 plays for Christian Watson specifically to have in week 1. Christian Watson, keep in mind, missed the entire preseason, right? And some of the offseason workouts due to an injury. I think it was ankle related, possibly. Anyways, I do like Christian Watson, and I do feel like he could have an explosive game tonight. But an explosive game for Christian Watson is likely to be like what we saw from Justin Watson on Thursday night, where he catches, a deep ball for a touchdown, has maybe 4 or 5 targets again, and is worked into this offense. Now, I get that their offense is brutal, especially the wide receiver position, especially with Lazard out of the game, and Randall Cobb being as old as he is, and Romeo Dobbs not being a focal. I get it. I get all the narratives that make you want to play Christian Watson. And if I had a flex and I had to choose between him and Greg Dortch, I'd probably lean. I might lean Christian Watson. That's where I'll be like, okay, that's the realm that I'm starting to question, right? It's
right.
The Greg Dortch is where it's not a good player, but he's in a good situation. Now, do I take the talent or do I take the situation? So that's where I start questioning the Christian Watson value. But if you have a solid lineup, I'm not putting him in over Hunter Renfrow, right? I'm not putting him in over, no matter how much I don't like Hunter Renfrow this week, I still think I'd rather take the game that's going to score a ton of points.
What about Mooney?
I take Mooney, I think, over Watson. I think I'd take Mooney over Watson. I don't want to play roulette with a guy who didn't have a primary role in week 1, because all we could see is another Rondale Moore situation from last year, where he gets a few plays that are drawn up for him that are kind of made for him while he's on the field. But guess what? He only gets 5 to 10 of those a game tops. And although he could score on one of those, it's not likely that that's going to happen, especially for a rookie. So as Christian Watson continues to get worked into the offense, that's where I would be okay, I'm keeping him on my roster. I'm not going to drop him, but I'd much rather see him perform and make sure that he sees the snap share before I start trying to, target him. So do you have a different take on that?
I mean, I don't think I would start him this week here. He's a young rookie who was somewhat of a development coming in. He had that big playability, bit athletic frame that he made him sound great. But again, he had some work to do to really step up and to be able to take it to the next level in the NFL here. And I think they're going to work him in slowly. They're going to give him a few plays over the next few weeks here and work him into the offense here. I don't think I'm starting him right now, but yeah, second half of the season could be something different we're talking about with him. If he actually can take that next step in the offense, he's a great stash right now.
I love it. Absolutely love it. By the way, if you're on YouTube or if you're listening to us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Make sure you get subscribed so you do get our updates of when we're going live. We have a Wednesday show, of course. We have a Sunday show for fantasyintervention.com. So go check it out, youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Big shout out to Fantasy Football Discussion, by the way. Keep those questions coming. All right, so we have PPR pick 2, 1 flex. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Mooney, Sutton, Gabe Davis, Edmonds, Henderson, Waddle, A-Rob. Okay, Waddle's a lock for me this week. Sutton's a lock for me this week. That's without question.
Yep.
Where it gets questionable is, do you start Gabe Davis over Chase Edmonds this week? I mean, that's I don't see any other questionable one. Henderson's not in for me. A-Rob is definitely out for me. And Mooney is slightly over
Right.
A-Rob, but like I don't see Mooney playing. So I mean, I don't see Mooney performing. So either way, like I am between Sutton and Waddle being locks, and then Edmonds or Gabe Davis. Now, if you're playing Edmonds, then it could end up you're playing more of a safety role. Whereas like if Waddle doesn't perform, then maybe Chase Edmonds performs, right?
Right.
But if Waddle has a massive game, it's not likely that we're going to see a massive game from Chase Edmonds as well. So you're kind of taking like a safety pick, like you're kind of maxing out around 25 total fantasy points if you take Edmonds and Waddle. Meanwhile, if you take Gabe Davis and Waddle, you could be looking at a max of 35, 45 fantasy points. Like if they both have an insane game,
Right.
it's not likely that we're going to see two 20-plus point games from Edmonds and Waddle being on the same team. But the question is, does Gabe Davis actually play? If Gabe Davis plays up against the Tennessee Titans, it's going to be a massacre. Like he's going to get 2 touchdowns. It's no question. So I know it's sketch, but I'd probably play Gabe Davis, and you have Waddle, and you can end up dropping maybe a Henderson if he doesn't perform. You can definitely drop A-Rob because A-Rob sucks. He's washed. If he doesn't, once you figure out that he doesn't perform this week, you can go and drop him. Wash your hands clean so it doesn't clog up your roster for the next 2 weeks while you're waiting for him to perform. But no, I would most likely go with Gabe Davis over Edmonds if I need some points this week. If I have a high scoring matchup between me and my opponent, maybe you're the 2 top ranked people in the league and you need some points, go Gabe Davis. And then that way you can try and get like a Jamison Crowder or an Isaiah McKenzie into your lineup if you need to pivot.
Yeah, Chase, I think you said it best. Definitely Sutton, definitely Waddle. I mean, if you're thinking you're already projected to lose, go Gabe Davis and take that upside. If you're thinking about winning, maybe you could go Edmonds then, but it's a tough situation. I mean, I guess I could go Davis probably in the long run. If I'm thinking about what my team wants to do, I want to take the upside play in Gabriel Davis and take that advantage there. And if you lose it off that, I mean, it's 1 week, but I want Gabriel Davis, that upside play, no matter what happens.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize this. Have you ever noticed a game that plays on Thursday 1 week and then the same team that plays on Thursday plays on Monday that next week? That
No, I
typically
never
doesn't
noticed that.
happen. The
Oh,
Bills
wow.
are doing that, right? The Bills played on Thursday,
Yeah.
and now they're
And they're
playing on
playing.
Monday night. So that's a huge gap. Jesus.
Yeah, they get a nice
All right.
rest.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Antonia. Oh, by the way, Axel, you are welcome. We will be here for you to blame us if you lose. All right. What's going on, Antonia? Antonia gives, what's up? This is my homie over here. All right. PLS rank both of you. J-Rob, the Rhino, Stevenson, or Jacoby Myers, PPR, start 9, last flex spot. So she wants to know like where we actually rank J-Rob, Stevenson, and Jacoby Myers. And for me, God, man, Jacoby Myers, he feels like the guy that I want to play. I know that's tough because Stevenson, is looking like he's a breakout, but like, dude, it's going to take a lot of luck for him to break out like each and every week with the way that they do this in New England. And although like we want to try to think that it's going to be different because somebody plays really, really well or somebody plays like shit, it's like, okay, is it actually going to happen and can we rely on it? So for me, up against the Steelers, God, they have such a bad rush defense, but I want to say it's a Damian Harris week. I'm going to go Jacob Myers. I'm going to go J-Rob. Oh, did they actually say if Deforest Buckner's out for this week?
I did not see it.
Here, I'll look it up really quick. Yeah, Deforest Buckner is still questionable, so we're going to have to see if he's actually out. So pay attention to the injury report. If Deforest Buckner actually misses this game, I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to go J-Rob, Jacob Myers, and Stevenson. If DeForest Buckner plays, I'm going to go Jacob Myers, Stevenson, J-Rob. That took a lot for me to come to that conclusion. That was tilted.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm surprised they haven't said it yet. They play at 1 or they play at the 4 o'clock game.
I'm not showing it. It looks like
it's just 1.
It looks like 1 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't like announced that yet. Wow, that's weird.
Well, I have up the one from before we started the show, so
gotcha. I was trying to help find it for you real quick and see if there's a difference or not, but well, But yeah, Chase, I'm kind of on the same page with you. Honestly, I think if Buckner is out, Robinson has to be my top ranked guy at that moment there. I really like Stevenson. I really think that with Ty Montgomery out, Stevenson is going to see that passing work. So I probably would have him personally ranked second. Last week, the Steelers did give up a lot to Joe Mixon in the passing game there, and so I'm intrigued to see what Stevenson. Hopefully, we'll see an expanded role with Ty Montgomery. I mean, Ty Montgomery played 37% of the snaps last week, with Stevenson kind of not out, but playing only 25%. I'm hoping it sees more of a 40-40 between these two guys now. And then for me, Myers last, just because I like Myers, but I just don't trust him to see enough workload in the offense personally. Did you find it?
Yep, I'm still trying to look. I cannot find. Nope, I'm still looking for Deforest Buckner. Sorry.
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to pay attention to that. What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Did you say, "Oh my God"?
No.
Did you say, "Oh my God"? Oh, what the heck? Something just came through. Some noise just came through. All right, let's go ahead to this. My current wide receivers are Jefferson, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Darnell Mooney, and Drake London, and Chris Watson. He won't start. Okay, cool. Yeah, 12-team stash, Mike. That's the route to go. Let's see. You're welcome anytime, Johannes. And let's go ahead and Balls Life, what's up, man? You got any questions for us? Some starter sit questions? If you guys have any starter sit questions, put them in the chat because we are about to get out of here. If that's not the case, get it in here. Before we answer our last couple starter sit questions, Steven, where can we find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Coaches Fantasy, or my Twitter handle here, Coach Stephen P, with the Fantasy Coaches. So
love it. You guys can go find all of our content over there at fantasyintervention.com and FF_intervention over there on Twitter. We also do a player profiler show every Friday night for DFS. That's Jacob Sanderson and myself. We crushed it last week in week 1. Hopefully we see the same result in week 2. Go check it out over there at playerprofiler.com. A little bit of insight. We picked the high scoring games for this weekend, or the games we wanted to really play, to be the Jacksonville Colts game, the Washington Lions game, the what was the other one? The Atlanta Falcons, and who did the Falcons play this week? That was the other game. The Rams for Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. So just a little bit of insight. Hopefully, if you guys are putting in your last minute lineups, you'll get in some Kyle Pitts, some Cordell Patterson, some Antonio Gibson, of course, some TJ Hawkinson. Just go load up those lineups and check us out every Friday night at, I think we're going 6 o'clock from here on out on Friday nights. Playerprofiler.com. All right, that's going to be it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you all for letting us intervene with your start or sit questions. We're out.